This is it's me, Josh Hunter. I'm presently on the planet Earth, and I don't know how. Anyway, I got a jutsu for you, and it's come to my attention that perhaps, well, I mean, I do not claim to understand the the full power of the jutsu, and some people might find that offensive if they have studied, um, you know, various types of, martial arts or anything related to that. They might think, oh, you're mocking something that I take very seriously, and you are welcome to believe whatever you want. But on the off chance that there are people who, because as you know, some of my videos, I come up with my own jutsu, and I don't know, I think it's kind of neat. But on the off chance that you personally decide that you want to come up with your own jutsu without having fully taken the time to understand what the ultimate consequences of that might be, then I have something for you. Now, you might say, Josh, how do you know that you've taken the ultimate consequences into consideration? I don't know. I do a lot of work. I don't get a lot of sleep. Makes me feel that I'm right. People who work very hard. That's why I like Wall Street guys. Like, whenever, if things had been like normal, I would have been a Wall Street guy 10 years ago. Like, just a guy just hanging out on Wall Street, just fucking making money. Like, that's what I would be, a stockbroker. Like, that's literally, that is my arena. That is my realm. Like, that's like everything that those guys do. Like, that's what I do. But I don't know. You gotta get laid at least once, so you know what you're working for. I think anyway. Maybe am I using that too much? Yeah, it could be. Anyway, I mean, I'm not like. Why do I keep bringing that up? I don't know. I want people to have the opportunity to know what it feels like to not be concerned about getting laid. For people to be as concerned about getting laid as they do, oh man, am I gonna get to wear blue shoes next year?
I think he was referring that to you.
Because if you want to wear blue shoes, that's up to you. But I mean, you don't consider it like some particularly important thing. You're just like, oh, am I gonna wear blue shoes? But if you took it as seriously as you took having sex, you fuck. I really want to make sure that I would get to wear blue shoes next year. Oh fuck. Anyway, so this jutsu is inspired. Now I would consider this a subjutsu as well. A subjutsu is anything that's inspired by my own by my own channel, by the things that I say on this channel. So if I watch one of my own videos and then I get inspired by something that I say, inspired by something I said, it's a subjutsu. To me, it's less valuable than the other jutsu that I come up with. So anyway, at some point, people might start, they want to make their own jutsu. Now, as you know, the world is very interconnected, and so some people might come up with the same jutsu at the same time, and they might they might be thinking to themselves this fucking guy, he stole my jutsu. So this jutsu is called they took our jutsu. They took our jutsu, and I guess the wisdom of your own mind and your own heart should let you know if you should say they took our jutsu or they took our jutsu. So it's up to you to decide if this is something that you want to do. If this is for you. I say this because I say this because some people when they start making jutsu, they might take it more seriously than I do. And I want to install and establish something here to correct that energy and balance it immediately. So that what this jutsu does, they took our jutsu. It completely and immediately balances that energy. If someone is like taking it way too seriously, like, oh, I I fucking came up with this jutsu. Like, if then they decide to come up with retaliatory jutsu, like, oh, like now I want this person to hurt because they took my jutsu. This is in the similar vein as the $47 million jutsu that I came up with, but the $47 million jutsu is kind of just in general for like getting angry, but this is specifically for like if you have been like like watching my channel, or even if somehow you independently decided to start making your own jutsu. Like, what the fuck do I know? Somebody could be doing this exact same thing right now, and so like I want to make sure that if well, I guess it's a protective measure if I'm not mistaken. Like if somebody thinks, oh, this guy fucking stole my jutsu, so that's what this does. It's supposed to make sure that that energy remains in order. It remains in a place of order, and that it does not become chaotic or wild. And the process by which this is done is safe and I guess pleasant, and does not induce or increase fear, strain, struggle, hate, or anger. I guess with one of the most with the best way to make sure that the use of jutsu does not get out of hand. Fucking, I have seen Naruto Shippuden, and that is crazy. like these guys got out of hand. Like that's why I don't like. I just watched like the first series. I don't watch Naruto past. I don't know. I mean, sometimes like I'll watch like clips of Shippuden, like online, and that's like neat. Because like I said, I mean, I kind of all this whole idea of using jutsu, I got inspired by Naruto. I thought it was really neat, like just the idea of it, having chakra. Because when I think about chakra, I think about like the things that they traditionally teach. But in Naruto, chakra is just energy. It's like, oh, your spiritual energy that you use, we call it chakra. Like I thought it's neat. Like I don't know if that's like also what it means, but like I thought it's neat that if they just made that up, like that's pretty neat. So I just wanted to. I just wanted to make sure that that things they don't get out of hand. And this is one of those things you gotta catch it, like in the beginning, because you never know. Like it could be, like 200, 400 years away. Like I could I could be like, oh, dude, jutsu is awesome, and then like nothing, and then like 400 years from now, some fucking asshole was like, I got nothing to do, and it's like, jutsu, what's that? So it's pronounced. Man, there was something I was supposed to. I got a little distracted. Fuck. So it's pronounced. Well, it's up to you. If you just want to say that they took our jutsu, and I guess I'm gonna limit it to two inflections here. So they took our jutsu, or they took our jutsu. Just when you want to make sure that you're not that you don't get too upset if with it's supposed to be the solution to all jutsu related problems, all jutsu related situations, scenarios. It's the solution to all jutsu issues. And but like I said, this is a subjutsu. I mean, it's on a lower tier in quality. Like the quality of the jutsu is in a lower tier. This is what I consider it because I was inspired by my own video, and so it's like I just want to make sure that we're not. Because right now people don't really seem to be taking their lives seriously, but when they realize that they should be taking their lives a little seriously, some people might have the tendency to go too far, like in the serious end. And I want to make sure that things don't get like too wild.
All the way in your mouth?
But
All the way in your mouth?
just,
Just touch the back of your tongue?
I've done what I can. I'm not I'm not some fucking ringleader. I'm not some like mayor or something. I'm just like fucking, like I said, I'm a bum. Okay, my whole thing is to do nothing, and or I guess to contrive, not a guess. Let me remind you, in case you have forgotten, because I haven't brought it up in a couple of videos. I have 4 primary tasks, 4 primary operations, which I try to integrate into every word that I say, and especially in the videos that I publish. My first operation is the preservation of infrastructure, which means the preservation of roads, electricity, utilities, modern conveniences. The preservation of infrastructure in this case is the preservation of modern conveniences, being able to go from point A to point B, basic things, transportation. The way by which I do that, I try to live. I try to contribute to this. I don't say like, oh, I'm going to fix everything. I just say I try to contribute to this, to the well-being of infrastructure's preservation. The second thing is the preservation of needful structures. Now, a needful structure is I guess up to interpretation. So it's more what I perceive to be needful. Needful according to what? I guess is what you have to ask. So to me, anyway, those would be more like intangible things, like political ideologies, religious ideologies, ways of social mannerisms, things that we all use that mean something to us, that help us in our processing of daily life. Because those structures are important, but they're not tangible. I mean, it's hard to hire like a secret service or some type of security force to protect a social structure. I'm not talking about racism either, because some people, that's what they're attempting to do with racism, with hating people who are not your race. That is their attempt to preserve needful structures. The best way that they know how to do it is to hate. And some of these people, I mean, because you wonder, why do some of these racists get away with it? Because some of them are actually innocent. They just do it in a very bad way. What they want to do is to preserve things that are important to them, that mean something to them, like their fucking culture. And they don't know how to do it, and so it just expresses itself through hate. But I think some of these people, when they are hating white people, or when they're hating black people, or when they're hating Hispanic people, or when they're hating Japanese people, when they're hating people from Southwest Asia, like when they're hating anyone, sometimes it isn't hate. It's literally their life attempting to the structures that they need to feel comfortable in the world. To them, they feel threatened, and so they react in the best way they can. So that's the second operation. The third operation is personalized specifically to me, although I suppose other people could use it. Not too many people, because like fucking I don't know, it depends if we're all smart enough. And that is, my third operation is to contrive to never have to do anything. I think it's very important to feel like you don't have to do anything. That doesn't necessarily make you lazy, but because obviously, I mean, there's certain things that so anyway, to contrive to never have to do anything means that everything that you're doing is just to make sure that you get to that point where you don't have to do anything. It doesn't mean that you don't want to do anything. It doesn't mean that you don't do anything. It just means that you contrive to not have to do anything. So, and then the fourth one is, I guess it's more recent. I haven't necessarily developed it as well. And it's to not become dependent upon guessers. And what that means is people who guess, people who aren't making decisions based upon logic, not making decisions based upon reason. They haven't thought out and fully understood and computated the reasons why they do things. And ultimately what they do is just a guess. And so if you become dependent on a person who has guessed and is only guessing their way from one point to another, then you're going to get what people who guess get. And if they're just guessing, then there's no guarantee. And so there needs to be a guarantee. And so to not become dependent upon guessers means that even if you are having to be dependent on someone, you're not going to become dependent upon someone who has not fully studied the things that are important to them, or something. I'll have to work that out. Anyway, I'm 33 years old, and I've never made a mistake.